I was recently in the Vatican and I talked about religion a little bit because I think that the good side of it, well, it will become clear from the video, but it's a little bit more relevant because of an interview between Bill O'Reilly and Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins is a famous atheist and scientist, and O'Reilly was saying, well, because science cannot explain 100% of what goes on in the world, you should fill the last 1% or 2% with religion, and then it would be Christian religion, not any other one. And then he called Mr. Dawkins a fascist because Mr. Dawkins says, well, no, you should not look at religion, but you should try to find a better science to fill the gaps. And it's just a very unrestrained, very crude insult to Mr. Dawkins by a guy who works as a television presenter, who just uses a lot of science in his daily life, mobile phones and etc., televisions, cars, all that stuff would not be there if there weren't people with a scientific mind to find out what is really true and what's really not true, what really does work and what really doesn't work, and what does save lives and what doesn't. You know, in the time that there wasn't any science, in the time that they didn't know bacteria and stuff like that, it was simply a good rule to ban pork, because pork had lots of bacteria, and it was a good rule to not drink and eat meat within 8 hours of each other, which is a Jewish rule, because that saved a lot of lives. That was the intent of the whole religious, or a lot of the religious rules. And of course, creating a peaceful population was also a good goal. And that was what you had the mythology for. The Zarathustrian, the Hindu, the Muslim, the Christian, the Confucian. Just every religion has that element in it, that it tries to create a just and peaceful society. Maybe not just for everybody, but at least it's working. Bill O'Reilly is not like that. He calls Mr. Dawkins a fascist, which is a pure projection of his own bigoted mind. And but on the other side, there are some good sides to religions, which I highlight in this video. Of course, there's a lot wrong with organized religion, and Roman Catholic religion is, of course, one of the bigger ones that have been, you could say, suppressing progress of humanity for centuries, and also extorting people by making them very afraid of a God that really doesn't exist. And a very good place to say that on St. Peter's Square, I guess, for an atheist like me. But there are good sides to the church, and that is that it's actually human-centered. It sounds weird. It sounds like people will say, well, no, religion is God-centered, but of course it's humans that believe in God, and it's humans that have made up that goal of a God and try to be humble towards Him. And that humbleness, that's a good thing. I think if the Pope talks about, let's say, the excesses of humanity and the way that they're pillaging the planet, then he's completely right. And it would be very good if people were more humble and less world-centered, less technology-centered, because you really don't need your BlackBerry or your iPod to live a happy life. You need to actually have a planet that can sustain you. And killing the planet doesn't really help while you're having an iPod. You know, that's the whole quandary you find yourself in. And then, if you look back in history, the only way to really make people humble and live a sustainable life has been religion and barbarism, both of them, of course, primitivity, destruction of knowledge. There's lots of noise around here, I'm sorry about that. And basically all mechanisms that made humans less capable to control their environment, and made them suffer more simply under their fate on this planet. And well, it's very ironic, I think, that because people managed to take control of their destiny, they are now destroying themselves. And so that's a good side I see to religion in general, and it would be very nice if we could detach humbleness and conservatism in regards to what you actually need to survive. So that's water, fertile land, and something to do that makes you proud. I guess, and just to explain myself a little bit, the human-centered nature of religion relates to the fact that it is a fantasy of people. It is a fantasy maybe of Jesus, or the Jews, or the Pope. It is an idea of arrogant humans that think that they can tell other people how to live, or do that because they feel that the other people will be more safe and more prosperous and more happy by doing that.